The Wilhelm Gustloff, a German cruise ship turned into a transport vessel during World War II, the Wilhelm Gustloff became tragically renowned for one of the deadliest maritime disasters in history. Evacuation and tragedy. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff took place during Operation Hannibal, a mass evacuation of German civilians and military personnel from East Prussia. Historical context. As the Eastern Front crumbled and the Red Army advanced, the Wilhelm Gustloff was chosen to evacuate civilians and wounded soldiers, carrying a heavy burden of lives. Evacuation Operation Hannibal. German retreat. With the Soviet advance in East Prussia, the German military initiated Operation Hannibal to evacuate civilians, wounded soldiers, and refugees. Wilhelm Gustloff's role. The Wilhelm Gustloff was designated as one of the key vessels for this mass evacuation, setting sail from the port of Gotenhafen, now Gdynia, Poland. Overcrowded conditions. Due to the urgency and the overwhelming number of evacuees, the Wilhelm Gustloff, originally designed for luxury cruises, became overcrowded beyond capacity. Voyage of desperation. Multinational passengers. The ship carried a diverse group of passengers, including military personnel, civilian refugees, and even concentration camp survivors. Harsh winter conditions. The voyage took place in the harsh winter of 1945, with icy waters and the constant threat of submarine attacks in the Baltic Sea. Submarine threat. The region was known for the presence of Soviet submarines, adding an element of danger to the already perilous journey. Soviet submarine attack. Soviet submarine S-13. On the night of January 30, 1945, the Wilhelm Gustloff fell victim to a torpedo fired by the Soviet submarine S-13 under the command of Captain Alexander Marinesko. Impact and chaos. The torpedo struck the ship, causing immediate chaos. The overcrowded and ill-equipped lifeboats were insufficient for the vast number of passengers. Rapid sinking. The Wilhelm Gustloff sank rapidly, leading to panic, confusion, and a struggle for survival in the freezing waters. Survival struggles. Limited lifeboats. With the ship sinking quickly, there were not enough lifeboats for the thousands on board. Many passengers faced the harsh reality of being left without a means of escape. Cold waters. The frigid waters of the Baltic Sea added to the challenge, with many succumbing to hypothermia even if they managed to abandon the ship. Rescue attempts. Despite the chaos, some rescue efforts were made by nearby German vessels, but the scale of the disaster overwhelmed any coordinated response. Casualties and losses. Enormous losses. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff resulted in an enormous loss of life, with estimates varying due to the chaotic circumstances. Civilian and military casualties. Civilians, military personnel, and refugees alike perished in the icy waters, marking it as one of the greatest maritime tragedies. Impact on German morale. The enormity of the loss, especially considering the high number of civilians and children on board, had a profound impact on German morale during the waning days of the war. Post-war investigations and legacy. Soviet justification. The Soviet Union justified the attack, citing the use of the Wilhelm Gustloff for military purposes and the ongoing conflict. Post-war investigations. After the war, there were investigations into the sinking, with questions raised about the decision to use a civilian ship for military evacuation. Controversies and perspectives. The sinking remains a controversial topic, with various perspectives on the wartime use of civilian vessels and the tragedy's place in historical memory. Commemoration and memorials. Memorial sites. Various memorial sites have been established to commemorate the victims of the Wilhelm Gustloff, including monuments and museums. Annual commemorations. The sinking is remembered annually in ceremonies that bring together survivors, descendants, and those who wish to pay their respects. Literary and artistic depictions. The tragedy has been the subject of literature, documentaries, and artistic works that seek to capture the human stories and the impact on those who experienced it. Conclusion. Human tragedy of war. The sinking of the Wilhelm Gustloff remains a poignant reminder of the human tragedy that war inflicts, particularly on civilians caught in the crossfire. Subscribe for more. Subscribe to our channel for additional episodes of Untold Stories, exploring the often overlooked narratives that shape our understanding of historical events. Join us in remembering the Wilhelm Gustloff and the countless lives lost in the Baltic Sea. Acknowledging loss. Let's take a moment to acknowledge the profound loss and the individual stories that make up the tragic chapter of the Wilhelm Gustloff, ensuring that such events are never forgotten. Leave a comment. Share your thoughts on the Wilhelm Gustloff and other untold stories from World War II. What aspects of history would you like us to delve into next? Comment below and be part of the conversation.